Hi again, it's Amanda Stanley here, and I want to talk about Rumex crispus, or yellow dock, or curly dock is another common name. And here we have a beautiful specimen. Right here you can see where it might have gotten its name by the curly leaves here, so curly dock. And then if you were to dig up the root itself would be yellow, so that's where the other common name comes from, yellow dock. But it's Rumex crispus is the botanical name. As you can see, it's already flowering. These flowers will turn a little pinkish. In fact, you can see it on some of them here, that there's a little bit of a red tint coming on through. So the way that I use this plant predominantly is the root itself. So just like any springtime leaf or green, you can pick them early on. So even the leaves of the yellow dock plant, you could pick them when they were smaller or more tender in the springtime before they send up their flower shoots. And it's quite delicious. You don't want to eat a ton of it because it has oxalic acid, which can build up in our systems if we eat too much. But it's really lovely as, you know, just general salad greens mixed, you know, a salad mix rather, not like the main ingredient for a salad. But it's yummy. It tastes like almost like rhubarb, sort of like a tangy sour grape sort of flavor, but it's really delicious. Anyhow, that's one way to use it, but I like to use the root. So the root is predominantly how I use this plant. And it is one of the best remedies for malabsorption. So if you have a hard time assimilating your food, if you're someone who has stools that you can see food particles in it when you're flushing it down the toilet, this plant is for you. It's also wonderful for people who veer towards constipation or harder stools maybe. It's not a really potent laxative, but it will definitely help to stimulate the peristalsis and kind of tone up the gut to have more complete evacuation of our bowels, which is always a very good thing. It's also incredibly vitamin and mineral rich. It's another one of those plants that have long taproot, so similar to burdock and dandelion. It has a very long taproot that goes down into the earth and draws up minerals and nutrients and pulls it up into the earth, but also into itself, so that we have a lot of those vitamins and minerals, you know, viable and sort of present for us to absorb when we take the food, the herb, into our bodies as well. So it's a very earthy, very sort of, I mean, it just kind of tastes like dirt, honestly, to me. It's not one of my favorite teas to have, but it actually makes a really lovely coffee substitute when you combine it with dandelion or burdock. You just kind of make a really powerful tea, or even maybe a little decoction. Add milk of choice, maybe a little honey, and it's really delicious. It's a nice, like, rooty, earthy, very grounding tea. And I mean, I'm not a huge coffee drinker, so I can't, you know, can't speak for all coffee drinkers out there who are like hardcore, you know, dark roast supporters, but I can tell you that it's a really nice, similarly flavored herbal treat, and you're getting so much out of it, and it's not taxing your adrenals. So it's a nice substitute, especially if you were just looking for more of that like rooted, earthy, bitter sort of flavor in the morning. And of course you can still add your cream and sugar, which is a nice thing. So great for mineral absorption and just, again, absorption and assimilation in general. So it's going to help you to better assimilate your food, basically. I already mentioned iron, so it's great for anemics. It's great for new moms or pregnant women who need to take up more iron in their diet, of course, for baby and themselves. What else can I say about yellow dock? It's great for all skin things. So psoriasis, eczema, acne, rosacea, anything that's about inflamed skin is going to be really supported here, because yellow dock is a very specific to liver support, also gallbladder support, and just general detox and elimination. So anything that has to do with skin stuff, when outbreaks are showing up in the skin, typically that is an indicator that our liver, or, you know, in our other eliminative organs are being taxed, but predominantly our gut and our liver. So yellow dock touches on both of those things. So it's definitely my go-to for general detox, for general skin health. It is bitter, so you know, it stimulates all the gastric juices. Gets bile secretion up and going, so that we can better digest and process all of our foods and eliminate what we don't need. So it would be better for more heated states, for more inflamed states. It's not going to be for people who are already cold and dry in their constitution per se. Of course, we can always combine our yellow dock with something that's maybe a little bit more warming, like ginger or cinnamon, but that's a whole other topic. So this is more typical for people who have a more heated constitution, are dealing with inflammation, and they need some general detox support in that realm, and sort of alkalizing support. That would be how I use yellow dock. And again, it's the root that is used. I typically will wait till the fall in order to harvest the root. Always making sure, of course, when we're wild crafting, that there is plenty of the herb around, that we're not just taking all that is left, because we are taking the whole life of the plant when we're taking the root. So it's really important to be mindful, to be grateful, to honor the plant, and to make sure that we are sustainably using the medicine and not just taking all of it when there's only maybe 1 or 2 plants there. We never want to do that. We want to make sure there are fields of yellow dock, and then we can just take a small amount of that just for our own needs. So thanks for tuning in about Rumex crispus, our friend yellow dock or curly dock. I'll see you next time.